Okay, this is the second time I'm going to be recording this video, and that is because I realized the first tutorial I did, I was not capturing the mouse, the movement of my mouse, so I need to go ahead and delete that and record another one. Okay, from the previous file, so I'm just going to control all everything, clear it off, and right here I'm going to clear it off so we can start from afresh. And what we are having inside this structure is just a folder of css which is contained of style.css, which is empty, and an index.html. Let's go ahead and dive right into to actually get to create a drop down menu. Okay, let's just go by the syntax html, so we don't want to waste time. And right here we just want to have a div. I want to have this class to be drop down, and right in the middle of the drop down I want to run a span. I want to say over on me. Okay, we want to have a div also here with a class of drop down item, or drop down item. Then we can close it up like that. So probably span, I want to give this a class of drop down menu. So this one should be menu and that one should be class. Right inside here I want to have another list, and right here I want to have a list item of HTML. Okay, I want to have CSS. I also want to have JavaScript, so like there. Okay, drop down menu. So sorry, this class supposed to be a drop down item, so don't mind me, I'm just trying to rush things up here. Okay, let's just put right here. All right, good. And this one's supposed to be drop down menu, because this is actually the menu and this is the drop down, this is the menu, this is the item. Okay, so let's go ahead and view this in the browser. Alright, so we have over on me, then we have HTML, CSS and JavaScript. The idea of what we are doing is that when we place the mouse on this, we want to be able to display this. Okay, so now I'm going to move into style.css and begin styling. So the first thing I want to select is the class of dropdown itself. So class of dropdown, I want to position it to be relatively positional to the page, which is the body element. So that's what I want to do, to be relatively positioned like that. What I want to do, I want to give it a background color of cyan, and also I want to go ahead and give it a height of auto, and I want to give it a width of maybe 200 pixels. Should be good. Okay, oh my god, what happened is I've not go ahead and link these HTML and CSS page to each other. Let's go ahead and do like that, like that. Okay, so right here we can link, so use the link tag, and we need to declare their relationship, which is the style sheets. So by now I should be much more familiar with this. And the reference, we are going to CSS style.css. So that's all. So pretty simple. So save this, let's just refresh. Now we have this now. Okay, glad that we actually have this. This child that we just selected contain two child. So the first child is the span, the second child is the class of dropdown. So we're just going to say d for the class of span, sorry, dropdown. We want to pick span like that, so we can go ahead and give it a background color over stack size. So this is it right here. So this one is having these. I just want to try to I also want to try to give it a template so we can see what I'm actually doing very well. And a class of drop down, let me see, what's this class of drop down. So class of drop down menu is the second one, drop down menu. So I'm going to give the background color, here you go, of for something here, let's fabric. Okay, so we give this one fabric, and this up here is actually taking a very small space like that. So let's just say text dash align of center, and that one should push it to center. Well, it's not pushing, I guess it's just stick right there. Okay, I just want to do some little things. The width of this one should be 100%. Probably should fill up the whole size of its box. Why is it just standing there and looking? That's not good enough. Instead of using span, maybe I should use h1, because span is just a kind of a element that doesn't do anything. It's just there at you, just continue to look at you like, right, what are you doing, guy? h1 is not ideal. Okay, h1 actually works well, bro. I think it's too big, so I'll prefer to use h3. So h3 then changes to h3. Alright, it's a lot better now. So we have these two classes that we are actually dealing with. Then I need to eradicate some default value here, so padding of 0, margin of it's 0. So I want it to have that, because h1 element is always full of having padding and margin. Sorry, a padding by default. Is it padding or margin? Instead of one of the two. Anyway, I didn't know, so let's know together. Let me just cancel this. I'm going to refresh this now, then we are going to inspect this page. So h3 is a dark shine. So if you look right here, so it is actually having some margin by default. So margin star, margin this, margin there. And if we go and look at this developer tool, you are going to realize it's having margin of 18 pixels. So we don't want that. So it's actually margin, it's not padding. We don't want that. We don't want any margin. We don't want it. Okay, I fixed that already. Good. Let's see if we can put it text align of center. Okay, it's listening now. Thank you. Good. Okay, we are having this text align of center, which is good, and I will need to eradicate these guys. I actually don't need these guys. So what to do there is just simple. So I'm just going to do a class of drop down and deal with a class of drop down menu and deal with a class of drop down item. So let's just go ahead and look at this structure together, and you actually understand what I'm trying to do here. So from this class of drop down, I go ahead and move to this class of drop down menu, then this class of drop down item. So this is this drop down item actually represents this on other list now. So instead of putting drop down items, I can just put in another list like that. Okay, that's not bad. Just refresh this. Nothing's going to happen here. Then let's just go ahead and do the first thing of list type of none. So list type of none declares the type of the list that we want, and we have none already. Then we are able to eradicate this, and we want to declare, let's just inspect these elements. So it's the another list that we are inspecting now. So it has a margin from top of 16 pixels and bottom of 16 pixels. We don't want that. We need to actually tell it to have a margin of 0 to. Alright, so now when we actually stop it from having the margin of 0, we are able to bring the two together now. Okay, so let us check this. So we have class of drop down, we control drop down item. So this class of drop down menu now is what we are actually dealing with, because we want to manipulate these guys very well to have a proper view or display. So let's just go ahead and continue this. What next is just to pick the div, the class of dropdown, and the div, the class of dropdown menu, then on other lists, then list item, which is li right in here. So we just want to give it a display of block. We want this to be in block, a padding of 5 pixels, 10 pixels. So let's refresh that. So it's not actually showing something much, but it's really doing a lot of work right there. So on margin of 0. Okay, all right. So class of dropdown menu, class of dropdown menu, on other lists, then list items, display of blocks, and that and those. Okay, that's not actually bad. So I'm just going to grab all these again. I think I pasted that. Okay, I did. I want to see when you over on this, you should have a different background color, maybe like a gray, because the background is still going to be white. Well, that is not actually saying it. It's not even saying it. What's up? So let's just turn this on that list to deal with the class of dropdown menu. No, this is wrong. Why do I want to do this? So this should be class of dropdown. Oh my god, do I do this? No. This class of dropdown menu, like so dropdown menu on another list than this. Okay, all right. So it's actually doing a lot of works right now. So class of dropdown menu, another list, then padding of 0. All right, so this is it. Can see, guys? So it's actually displaying very cool as I want it to do. So the O box, let me just come to the O box. So I want to give it a box shadow, x-axis of 3 pixels, y-axis of 4 pixels, level of blur should be 5 pixels, and I want it to be gray. Or maybe that's just too small. I want it to be black. What about being black? Okay, 5 pixels, 3 pixels, prepare on 5. Am I seeing that? Is this my eyes? Box shadow, god, what happened to me? It's supposed to have box shadow. So those are very thick shadow, too thick. Let me just have gray instead of black. Okay, I think it's alright now. It's better now. So we have this list, we have over on me, then let's start manipulating things around. So this is the things that are very important. This guy, which is h3 of over on me, and this guy are actually the two child that the class of dropdown gave birth to. So this class of dropdown items belong to dropdown menu. It doesn't belong to h3. It's just a grandchildren to dropdown, and it's like kind of a family tree I'm seeing right here. So this guy needs to have a position of absolutely position to dropdown menu, so that it's no matter what is going on, it's going to be following dropdown menu. It's not going to be following someone else outside of the family. It's going to follow its parents, not some kind of other relatives. So I just don't want to do things without proper explanation. That's what I'm doing that. So where are you? So this is its class of dropdown menu, Then we need to give it a position of absolutes. So if I refresh that, you can see, so this is why this is very vital important, because what this is doing is that instead of just following other elements itself, automatically it's just go ahead and pack up itself to follow up its parents, not the old element, and that is why it's having this space being left over here. This class should be relative. Okay, I think it is actually cool. Now what we can do to restore the width is if we try to give it some width, or I don't know. Oh my god, why don't I want to do that? I know it's too big. We just need to just go ahead and pick up the same width, so which is 200 pixels up there. Okay, that's not bad. You can see now it's having the same width of 200 pixels now. So enough of these backgrounds. I just put it there to keep in track of what we are doing. It's not really very important, so let's just get rid of it. Fire break, we are done with 2, so we don't need this fire break at all. Okay, maybe I can just give it a background color and declare something else, like maybe sign. Okay, if this is cool, let me try something else, like making it much more cooler, and the color should be white. I just want the color to be white. To know something, it's really important to go deeper, know how it works, rather than just doing it. Going through all this just to show you how everything works, not actually how it's just been being implemented and nothing much. So I need to explain every sequence. So I'm copying this box shadow of gray, so I would like this to also maintain this kind of shadow, so it's still maintaining the shadow I want it to maintain. Okay, no problem. So how do we now want to go ahead and over at this, then display this instead of this being displayed as the page load? So the first thing to do is just to come down to this group, to this class of drop down menu, and set display of none, and that is just going to bring it out of the scope. So you can see it's actually out of the scope now. We are unable to see it, is only this we are able to see. So I would like to go up here and write color, sorry, and change this to white too. So okay, and I can eradicate this like that, so sorry. Alright, so when we over at this, we want to display something right there. What is there? What we just designed to be there. So the syntax is somehow logical. You just have to calm down in order to understand it. So right here I can say display drop down item or drop down menu, so it is menu on over. So we just want the class of drop down when it is being over on, which means when the mouse actually enters it. Go ahead and pick class of drop down menu and give it a display of block. So the syntax is very simple like that. So it works. So when we over on this, we hover on it. Over means when the mouse come on it, then to display this we go. So many couple of times you might see a website whereby they have about something, and the next one when you over on it is as a list of drop down. This is just the basics of how to do it, how they do it, or how to do it like that. Another thing I've not actually been putting in on this is if you have more than one menu like that, so instead of overall maybe we can make this to look much more, so we can say more courses. So look at that. So more courses. Now when you overall need more courses, probably maybe we have, yeah, before more courses we have about contact us or anything. We have to come right here, which is where you have the first another list, class of drop down menu. You will have to go ahead and implement something, yeah, right here, drop down menu ul, to have a display of inline. So that one is actually very important, if in case you actually have a lot of menus, so that all your menu is going to be displayed on a line. Don't worry, when we actually get to clone new projects, I'm going to create a project, then you are going to clone it, it's going to show me what I've just cloned. Another thing I wanted to add, which is very important, if we have some other kind of elements on this page, then this is going to display at the back of them, so we are not going to be able to see this list that we are able to see here. We are only able to see it only because this is just the only element that is on the page, no other additional box or anything. To solve the problem, you have to come to the class of drop down menu and give it a z index of 1. So z index actually means a z-axis positioning of an element. So an element can be on top of each other, which the one that is on top is having z index of 1, the one that is actually behind is having z index of -1. So that is how to handle that. So that is that. Go ahead and play along with this. Let's see what you can do. If you have any confusion, any questions, just let me know. I'm just going to put it on the default view. So this is the normal view. It's not as big as you thought. Alright guys, thank you so much.